Hey guys, it's Shannon. Today is book review day for all of my beauty and fashion friends that are also readers. And so I want to talk about two books today. The first one is just a fun children's book. It's called Heather Hiding, and it's by Nancy White Karlstrom. And it looks like this. This is just a fun little book that sort of touches on sibling rivalry a little bit, but not so much rivalry. It's just kind of the part of growing up when you have siblings. So Heather is a little girl who has an older brother named Peter, and she looks up to him, for everything. He's faster than her, he's taller than her, he jumps higher than her, he's just better at everything than she is. And, she just looks up to him and kind of wishes that she could be as good at things as Peter is. And the dynamics is that whole sort of thing where Peter is the older brother, and we all, if you have younger siblings, you kind of remember when you were young and you had your friends around and the younger sibling wanted to kind of follow you around and do the things that you do, and you just kind of want to go and play with your friends and not sort of have to babysit the younger sibling. You just want to go and have fun. So that's kind of a little bit what this story is about. But Peter decides to let Heather play hide and seek with him and his friends. And so Peter is it, and they all go and hide. And so Heather goes and hides, kind of lays down in the grass and the flowers, and she ends up falling asleep. And so Peter finds all of his friends, but he can't find Heather. And now it's starting to get a little bit late. The sun is starting to set, and it's kind of that point where, you're about to start to panic a little bit. But ultimately, Heather does wake up, and Peter does find her, and it's just that nice little story about how Peter sort of realizes, how important Heather is to him, and Heather realizes that she is good at something. She's a very good hider. And so it's just a cute little book, just a fun little read. So if you have kids or you're around kids a lot, it's a fun one to read. Now, the book that I really want to talk about is called Something Rotten, and it's by Jasper Fforde. And this is part of a series. I think this is the fourth one in the series. There's The Ira Affair, I believe, is the first one. Lost in a Good Book, and The Well of Lost Plots are the three prior to this one. I love these books. These are probably right now, as far as adult fiction goes, probably my favorite series. And for the general population, these are just a fun, light, entertaining read. For voracious readers like myself, these are genius. And I'm going to tell you why. Basically, what the author has done is he's taken, a lot of our classic fiction, and he's kind of intertwined them into this story in a very interesting and entertaining and even comical way at times. It's one of those books where like I said, anybody can read it. However, and be entertained by it. But there is just tons that it's just going to fly over their heads if they're not voracious readers. But for those of us who read, anything and everything, and as much as we can get our hands on, there are a lot of little jokes and little side notes and little parts of the story that you really are only going to get if you have read the stories that are being referred to. So there are characters from classic novels, there are plots from other stories, and there are jokes that you really only get if you have read some of these other books. And really, they're kind of written for a person like myself who just loves to read. That's just the long and the short of it. So the main character, I always try to do these reviews without ruining the books or really telling you very much about them at all, so that you can really enjoy reading them yourselves. So I'm going to try to do that as always. But the main character, her name is Thursday Next. And she's sort of like a special agent in a way, is kind of her job. And she is responsible for policing book characters that are, gosh, it's so hard to explain without ruining it. The bureau that she works for is called Jurisfiction, and they are sort of responsible for making sure that book characters stay in their own books and don't change their plots and aren't wreaking havoc basically on the written word in our world. So she gets into a lot of little adventures because of that. There is a corporation called Goliath, and they, are essentially like a giant corporation trying to take over the world that she has to deal with. And there are characters that are, nasty characters that are always trying to foil, plots and all different kinds of things. And all I can really tell you about these books without ruining them is that if you are a reader and you have a fun, kitschy sense of humor, you will love these, and you will appreciate the genius that this writer has in his ability to not only incorporate, all of the literature that we know and love, and some that aren't as popular, but if you're a real reader, you've read them anyway. And smart, really, really smart, intelligent humor, and then just a fun, silly story that anyone can appreciate all into one. So, this isn't the first book in the series, so obviously I'm going to recommend that you start at the very beginning and not just pick up this book. But if you just like to read sometimes, or if you're just interested in starting to read, maybe you don't read a lot but you really would like to more often, the Thursday Next series is fun and entertaining, and it's an easy read, and it doesn't matter if you have read other, all these other stories, you will still enjoy it regardless. However, if you have read all these other stories and you are a big reader, the amount of little hidden jokes and funny little nuanced, kitschy storylines and such that are in these books are just amazing. I mean, you will love them. So that's all I'm going to tell you about it. I'm just going to tell you to go pick up the series, start reading them, and just enjoy them. Anybody can enjoy them. They're still going to be a light read no matter what, so just grab them if you're headed to the beach, if you're going on vacation and you're riding in the car for hours, or going to be on a plane or what have you, or you just want to curl up on the couch and stay in the air conditioning and stay out of the heat. I say go for them. So The Eyre Affair is the first book, and yes, it is referring to Jane Eyre, the classic. So just go get them and enjoy them. If you have any questions for me at all, let me know. I'll try to answer it as best I can without ruining the story for you. But please let me know in the information bar below, what is your favorite book. I want to know what you're reading right now, if you're reading a book right now, and I want to know what your all-time favorite book is, because I would like to participate in things you're doing as well. And I will see you next time. Bye.